Hello, today is August 11th, 2026, and we have a very worrying scenario to talk about today in very detail. Also, the Atlantic and Pacific are still showing signs of activity. But first, our main disturbance, which is called Invest 93C, is expected to move and directly impact Hawaii in some way or fashion. A direct landfall is a high potential here, and it is looking even more and more worrying as the days go on. It's not looking great. As you can see right here, this is Invest right now, not looking at much development, but we have seen much more development than earlier. This is about 10Z, and here we are at 19Z. We are much more organized than we were, let's say, earlier this morning. And you can kind of see convection around that center. We're going to move directly northeast and then directly west toward Hawaii. To show you a picture of what might happen, here is our European AI model, and it shows it has already taken the north path, actually, and it is expected to move basically straight to the west. Very interesting scenario here. This is the same scenario that the Google DeepMind is showing as well in general. It's showing a relatively intense system, like a high-end tropical storm, low-end hurricane, to impact the main island, the southernmost island of Hawaii. This one does take it through the other islands as well. And something interesting to look at is it re-intensifies it real quickly as it moves beyond it. A lot of our other models are showing that as well. Here's our American or GFS model. It again takes it straight west toward Hawaii, still keeping it weak a little bit further north than what the AI models are taking it right now. I think it's got a weird wobble here. It does bring it back out around the same area as the European AI model does. And then it does look like it could be more intense further to the west, and then it'll eventually curve to the north in the eastern West Pacific. And here's the AI version of that model. This one is the furthest south of all of our models right now, and it still takes a direct slam into Hawaii. And our European is still also showing a landfall. And you might be thinking, well, weren't you saying it didn't look like we were going to strike Hawaii? Well, things have definitely changed. It was still in a realm of possibility. Said keep an eye out, and things have definitely trended for the worst here. As you can see with our Google Weather Lab AI model, we have our average right over the South Island of Hawaii, and a northern option takes them over almost all the islands. So I think impacts to all islands are definitely in the realm of possibility here. And what's the intensity for this one? It will probably be a Category 1 as it makes its way there. It does have room for intensification, but it's probably not going to intensify fast. Now, beyond that, we could be watching for maybe a system recurving. Maybe it makes its way further west in the western Pacific. But as of now, we don't need to worry about that because the closest land beyond Hawaii is like Wake Island or Midway Atoll. No one lives there in Midway. So overall, not a great trend. We're hoping for this one to shift maybe back to the south, but at this point, it's not looking likely. And this has been the most worrying signal for Hawaii I've ever tracked since I started following hurricanes back in 2023. And since I started this weather channel, there's been nothing like this. I know we had Kiko last year, but that one passed to the north. We had Fausto earlier this year. That one also passed to the north. We haven't had a direct impact since 2018 and that was a tropical storm that kind of came like this. Can't remember the name. Also, what about the area to its east? If it does form, there should be no threat. This is the area we're watching for that. Not really looking at anything there. There's basically no threat to any land with that one. Moving over next to the Atlantic, we have two waves, one of which will form. This one is the one we were honing on in earlier. Actually, we were honing in on this one earlier, and then we were honing in on this one, and now we're just uncertain. Right now, there's a ton of uncertainty on where this storm could form, or two. Probably not two, though. The one to the west would move further to the west, and then the second one, which is almost looking more likely on a Google Weather Lab, would hopefully move to the north and away from land. But at the moment, some of the ensembles do take it still toward the U.S. or whatever. This one would probably be a worst case scenario as the first wave, if that one gets intense enough, will take away some of our dust that is still there. The thing that could keep this thing from really getting strong until maybe up here would be a big band of wind shear we have way up here, like stretching from Puerto Rico over to Mauritania. That is where our heaviest bands of wind shear are right now. Lastly, I do want to cover Tropical Storm Chanhome, which has just made landfall. This one is going to move inland to Japan and dissipate rather quickly. Moving beyond this, we do have a lot of signals. First of all, we're probably going to have another tropical storm moving the same direction as post-tropical, whatever its name was, I can't remember. Started with a P. We're going to have another storm there because of our monsoon gyre, and that is generally going to move away from any land. I don't think there's any land threat with that one. Then we're going to shift our eyes back toward the South China Sea or just east of Taiwan. We have a couple areas there to watch. And about 10 days out and beyond, this is next Thursday, we're going to start watching over here back to the east of Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands again for potential multiple name storms to potentially form out there. So it's going to stay very active in all basins. We're probably not going to get much of a break until November. I'm going to cover all with all of you, and that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Wait, maybe I won't see you tomorrow, actually.